What the?
Hey guys, Comic Boom here to review Oblivion Song number 2. And inspired by Professor Bill at Comic Book University, I'm going to try to give a synopsis of this comic book in under 3 minutes. And here we go. Robert Kirkman's writing continues to impress. His premiere issues was great. It whetted the appetite. It whetted the appetite such that we didn't really know exactly what was going on. But issue 2 here fills in the blanks. Basically, what we discover and what's been laid out more clearly, which was teased at in the first, was 10 years ago, 300,000 people disappeared when 30 square miles of the city just up and disappeared. It was literally transposed wholesale into another dimension called Oblivion. And the protagonist of this tale, a man by the name of Nathan Cole, he discovered that the seismic waves that preceded the earthquake that led to the transportation of this 30 square mile of city with 300,000 people into another dimension, he noticed that the frequency was off. And so with the help of a government agency that funded his research, he duplicated the frequency and he transported himself into Oblivion, where he was able to rescue the majority of the 300,000 people that were there. But there's still 100 people, about 100 people left or so, that are still in Oblivion, including his brother, whose name is Edward. And at the end of the first issue, it teased that Edward is Nathan's brother Edward is apparently leader of the sort of the ragtag survivors in Oblivion. And issue 2 has Nathan traveling or transporting back into Oblivion to take one last look around because the government funding's done up. The government doesn't want to fund it anymore. His girlfriend, whose name is Heather, works for the same government agency, and she has her sympathy, but they just don't want to fund it anymore. And interestingly enough, the couple that Nathan rescued in the first issue from Oblivion was actually, it was revealed, a couple that his brother Edward had sent out to spy on Edward, because here they are in Oblivion and they see this guy sneaking up all the time and looking around Oblivion, and he seems to appear and disappear, and they don't realize that he's actually from Earth. He's actually from our dimension, and he's actually there for good purposes. And so, ironically enough, the people that that Nathan Cole rescued in the first issue were actually spent to spy on him from his brother. And anyways, that couple, and they're the Crowleys. They're a married couple called the Crowleys. They actually told they told Nathan this in issue 2 and said, by the way, our leader back in Oblivion, his name was Edward. And so Nathan's thinking that maybe that same Edward, it's his brother. What are the odds of it being another guy named Ed? It's pretty unlikely. So that's really whetted his appetite. So he wants to go back there. In the meantime, there's other things going on here. Just like Robert Kirkman does with The Walking Dead, he's really good at drawing on the character and building the character. A lot of these people, they were gone for up to 10 years. And if you're gone for 10 years, your life in our dimension changes. Other people move on. There's a lot of moving parts here, but it's easy to follow. It's easy to read right from the art by Lorenzo De Felici here. He's been working on this thing for close to 2 years. Robert Kirkman had the idea for this comic book about 10 years ago. This is a really great story. It's being richly developed. Everything from the settings to the drawing of the monsters, the characterizations. It's really going to be a slow build here. What's great, guys, is that if you pick up Oblivion Song, it's going to come out on time. They've already got 13 issues of this in the bag, ready to go. They're way ahead of schedule. They're over a year ahead of schedule. This is a great comic book, guys. And I got to give this a solid A-. I think this is great. This is really building on it. It's whetted my appetite. It's great. A-, solid A-. And I would encourage everyone to continue to watch Professor Bill's reviews. They're awesome. I couldn't do this under 3 minutes or in 3 minutes. Professor Bill can, but that's why he's the professor and I'm just a student, right? So in any event, guys, check out my channel. I'm Comic Boom. You can check me out on YouTube under Comic Boom. Or you can check me on Twitter as I'm Metropolis40 on Twitter. Check out my reviews. See you on Twitter. And continue to check out Professor Bill's reviews. And in the meantime, until next time, Comic Boom out. And on behalf of the professor, class dismissed.